Hey guys, so I'm building a cheap snorkel for the D2. I'm following directions from Aaron on Facebook. He did this setup. I'm going to do it real similar to him, kind of just bootlegging his idea and where he got the idea from. So if it's his original idea, Aaron, thank you, buddy. If not, whoever came up with this in the first place, cool. So first step, you got to pull the fender off. It's just a matter of pulling a couple bolts off and pulling the fender off pretty easy. Follow your rave manual to get to here. This is a piece of like 4-inch like dryer pipe or heat pipe, whatever, and put it in the vise. I put it around a 21mm socket and just kind of rounded it nice so it didn't kink, and it fits in here real good. So the next step is to tie this piece into the plastic piece that goes inside the fender. And that's tying this into this piece here on the inside of the fender. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to slip this inside here, and I'm going to run a couple little self-tapper screws through it, and I'm going to seal this up with some really good sealant. And the next step is going to be cut a section of PVC pipe that's going to follow this angle, come into about here somewhere, and it's going to be cut this oval shape into the side of that piece of pipe. 10-foot stick here, so basically cut this shape into the side of the PVC pipe, and then we'll put a rubber coupling here and run it down here and then up the fender. So that's the first couple steps. I'm not going to videotape the entire process just because it's probably going to take me a couple days. I'm just going to videotape the highlights. So the first real challenge in this is getting this piece of piping to fit inside this plastic sleeve. So I'm sitting here with a pair of pliers, just working the edge of it, rounding the edge off a little bit so it'll slip inside here, and then we'll be able to get it permanent in place. So you're just going through and just rolling the edge on it. Yeah. Alright guys, so I got that all sealed up all the way around the edge there. I got that 21mm socket in there, just kind of, or 13/16, just kind of hold that apart, keep it shaped. So next up, we'll be installing this into the fender. So on the back side of this hole, right here are two studs. They're kind of welded to the fender there, and they take those little plastic nuts. It's a real coarse thread. I'll go ahead and pop those off there, and I'm going to run 2 self-tapping screws through here so I can run 1/4x20 steel nuts on the back side of this so I can squeeze this down good and tight. This is that little stud I'm talking about. It looks to me, it might just be tack welded on there. I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a chisel and try to give one good pop. If it comes off, then we're good. If not, then I'll just cut it off. Yep. So the other stud falls right here on this pinch weld, so I'm going to grind it flat. So now I got 2 permanently mounted studs to attach that to. ahead. Not the best way to do it, but that's the only way I got it. So. Alright. As you see, I cut that hole out to make this fit in there. It's going to take a little Dremlin to clear that out the rest of the way, but got the majority taken out of there with the Sawzall, so just a little bit of fine tuning. Pretty good fit. Not perfect fit, but pretty damn good. Definitely good enough where you can silicone it up. Alright, a couple little fitment things here that I'm working through. I want to shorten this pipe down because this rubber boot, the 2-inch pipe fits good in this gap here. But the rubber boot's obviously bigger. So when this goes in here, it gets hung up right here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut this back and section this piece out so this can slip down there and sit flush, and that won't interfere with the fender mounting bolt. So it just works out that you can cut that out of there and this will slide back in there and keep it as tight as possible. So that fits in there good and tight. Now we got to figure out the length of pipe from here to here for the kick up. Now I know this is going to have to be out here a bit more so the hood can clear it, and so it can clear this right here. So this is going to be kind of a tight fit, and it's going to take some figuring to get it right. Well, that's what I ended up with tonight. Have this temporarily mounted and routed how I want it, and run it up the A-pillar. So figure all the angles out and all the measurements and all that stuff tomorrow. You gotta get a 45-degree cap for the top. So move along. All right, guys, so we're back at it. Making some brackets out of just some angle iron. One there, one there. I'm gonna do 2 up there, and then this is gonna get 1 more right here just to hold that in nice and tight, just like that. Mosquitoes are horrible right now. They're eating my ass up. Just using some number 10 by 3/4 stainless screws with a 1/4 inch stainless washer on it to hold it into the PVC. When I put this together for the final assembly, I'll go ahead and put some RTV on everything. Use a 1/4x20 self tappers.
Okay.
I'm talking in my video.
Yes. Yes.
So to bend this piece of angle iron to the shape that I need to fit around the snorkel, I just put a 13/16 socket in here and I'm just hammering it. Get a bit of a round profile on there. And then I'll take it to the belt grinder and trim it up. Alright, so this is going to be the hat. And this is a 2" to 3" adapter, and then this is a 4" cap. This 4" cap is going to sit over top of it and be held in place by 3 bolts. But there's not a whole lot of room in here because of the thickness of the PVC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to drill 3, whatever size, that's my biggest drill bit that I got. 1, 2, 3 of those holes for airflow. And then I'm going to drill 3 1/4" holes on the opposite sides of that, and that'll be the mounting bolt holes. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And I'm just eyeballing. I'm sure there's some way to measure that, but that ain't that smart. Now you can kind of see what I'm going for here. When this sits inside here, I just give a little bit more room to draw air through. So there's the snorkel hat assembled. You can see I got those nylon lock nuts in there. I ended up drilling a couple sets of holes, so I wasn't quite happy with how everything was placed, so there's just extra airflow in there anyways. So there you go, there's the snorkel hat. So now it's time to paint everything. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some coarse sandpaper and I'm going to scratch this, all this piping up. Reason being is I'm going to spray paint it, but then I'm going to spray it with truck bed liner too, so I want to make sure it's got, you know, plenty of surface area for the paint to bite into. Now I'll be using some you know, plastic paint. I think it's Krylon or something. You guys can see it, whatever it is, but it's made for sticking to plastic. So instead, I'm gonna go through and scratch it up real good. All right. So the next thing I had to address was the boot that goes from the airbox to the fender, and they're made out of like a fiber with like a steel cord that runs through it, and they're notorious for deteriorating. The only one I've ever seen it wasn't was Justin's on his 04 D2. So basically what I did is I took and I peeled out crap off the rubber boots, and I took a piece of Kydex and heated it and shaped it to those rubber boots, and then I took this fiberglass wrap that you soak in water and wrapped it and made it a rigid boot with the rubber ends on each end. And then I went through and I sealed all the seams with this Lexel clear sealant. I absolutely love this stuff. It works great on everything. One thing about it, it's instantly waterproof, and it's not water-based. It won't rust stuff like a silicone will. So I got this all put together now, so now I can join the airbox to the snorkel. So this is kind of an important part for the assembly. So, alright guys, so here I am. I'm just working my way through. I'm going to show you, I'm not there yet, but I'm going to show you what I did. I took this piece of Kydex and I heated it up to the shape of the fender. Alright. And then I fit it. And as you can see, I'm going to end up pretty close to that Kydex, but that gave me a good starting point. So here's my starting point. Obviously I need to go a little bit further, but I want to make sure I didn't go too far. But with that being said, you can see where the bolt hole is and where it needs to be. So getting close, just going to nibble at it real slowly, a little bit at a time. Make sure I don't go too big because I want it to be a nice clean fit.
Please don't take me away from me, 'cause I've been sitting around all day with the blues. I know how it looks, but don't misunderstand. Just that I can tell storms about.
Pretty sure I've gone as far as I'm going to need to go right here in the corner. Just need to bring this out a little bit more. And I think I've gone as far as I need to go there. Well guys, got the snorkel done. The fitment down here was really tight. I'm not 100% happy with it. To get this angle right with the A-pillar, both back and going up the windshield frame this way, I had to push this out a little bit. It's tight right here. And I broke my marker light in the process, but other than that, I'm really happy with it. Really happy how it turned out, and you know, it's a $50 snorkel instead of $450 Mantec. So with that being said, guys, that's one more project in the books. Talk to you later. Alright guys, so we're out for a little test drive with the new snorkel setup. I just want to kind of show you guys something here. Current outside temperature today is 80 degrees. Here we are running 60 miles an hour down the highway, and the air intake temperature is reading in at 84 degrees, okay? This is barely on the throttle. Watch when I get on the throttle. I'm drawing 2.4 degrees above ambient air temperature in my intake under acceleration, okay? So basically what that means is this thing's drawing ambient air temperature into the engine. Before, I was running upwards of plus 30 degrees above ambient air temperature. So 90 degree day, I was seeing 120 degree air intake temperature with the stock airbox setup, drawing air out of the fender. That's a huge difference, guys, huge difference. So I basically dropped the air intake temperature to whatever it is outside, which is going to make the truck have better throttle response, which I can feel it. I know I can. You get on the gas and the throttle response is more crisp. The truck seems to accelerate just a little bit better. You know, actual horsepower numbers, probably nothing really measurable, but by the seat of my pants, it feels like it's just a little bit more crisp. And I'm really anxious to see, especially on road trips and stuff like that, if I have any increase in gas mileage. Because you figure if you're running a cooler, denser air into the engine, the engine's gonna run more efficiently, and in theory you should increase gas mileage. So that's pretty cool. So again, I'm real happy with that. And then the other cool thing is that you can definitely hear the intake now. I got the window cracked open, so I'm gonna put the camera right up here. I don't know if that came over the camera or not. I'll see when I go to edit it, but definitely get air intake noise. Now here we are with the window up. Not really anything noticeable when the window's up, so that's cool. But you definitely can notice it when you're just, you know, with the window down. You can hear the snorkel for sure.